Hi, Zach Reiser here, and welcome back after way too long for another bass effects review video. Today, I am getting into the luscious sounds of the Strymon Zelzah. The thing I always love about Strymon is that their pedals have a conceptual idea that is through and through the DNA of each device. What I mean by that is that it's not just a phaser. They go for a vibe. If you think about something like their Deco pedal or their LCAP pedal, it's a particular soundscape that they're looking for. And with the Zelzah, it's lush classic phasing tones. But they also give you things like phase vibrato. They give you a chorus. They give you a flanger. They also give you the option of running both sides of the pedal in either parallel or series, or in split stereo outs, which is very cool. And if you're someone like me that loves phasing, but you're not exactly huge on flanger or chorus, but you still like to have those textures on your board, this thing is awesome. So as usual, before getting into the Zelzah, here's my bass's dry tone Dingwall ABZ 6-string on the neck pickup. On the surface of the pedal, it's actually pretty simple. There isn't a lot of stuff going on with this pedal, which I really dig. It lets you just dial in the good sounds right away. But on the left side, we have all the 4-stage phasing sounds, kind of your classic like phase 90 vibes. And then on the right side, you have your thicker, chewier, more vocal 6-stage phasing sounds. So to start things off, I want to just give you a comparison of the 4 versus the 6-stage phaser. So we're going to have the 6-stage in the mild resonance setting here, and then the phase is all the way towards the phase. On the 4-stage, the mix straight 50-50, and I'm running it in that classic setup. I'm also going with a Fairfield barbershop overdrive into the Zelzah just to give you a little bit of extra harmonic content because it really brings out the phase character. Here is that Model B by itself. Now let's run it into the 6-stage. Same sounds, but on the 4-stage. I turned the depth down on both sides to about 50-50, and I've turned the rate up to get us more into kind of that pseudo-Leslie character here, starting with the 6-stage. Now, beyond the standard rate and depth knobs, which is what you kind of would expect from all phasing pedals, the real magic of the Zelzah, in my opinion, comes in with the mix knob and the voice knob. This is really where it stretches beyond kind of your traditional phaser settings. So starting with the 6th stage, I'm going to leave the resonance at mild for now, and I want to show off what happens when you shift the voice from phase to time. And essentially, it's changing a bunch of parameters under the hood that's slowly shifting it from pure phase into kind of a flange territory and then all the way into kind of a chorusing territory. It's really interesting. So you can hear that on the time side of the voice knob, you're really getting into some flange chorus territory, and you're getting that kind of cool, resonant, really short delay time, metallic flanging sound that I've always loved. So let's play with the flange settings a little bit by cranking the resonance up to high and hearing what that sounds like. So now let's hear what the Zelzah can do with kind of a more traditional chorus sound. I turn the resonance all the way off to get us more in that chorus realm, and also the voice knob is all the way to that time setting. While I'm on this chorus sound, I'm going to indulge myself a little bit. As everyone knows I like to do, I love to run bass synth textures into chorus or detunes to kind of give you that multi-oscillator vibe. So I'm running a Boss OC2 into a Brassmaster clone from Noise Space Audio. They sound like this together. And now let's run that synth bass into this chorus. All right, enough playing around though. Let's go full 6 stage. We're at maxed resonance, pretty high depth, fully on that phase side of the voice control with a pick for some funky 6 stage phasing. Switching from 6 to 4 stages, we are now going to play around with the classic setting to start us off. Knobs as shown, pretty standard MXR style phasing. Let's go with a really fast phase tone now, so the rate is cranked, and I'm running this into a nice lush reverb on my Strymon Volante. Similar to the voice knob on the 6-stage side, the mix knob is kind of how you set the overall character of your phase tone on the 4-stage side. Pretty simple knob. All it's doing is bringing in or out your dry signal. So all the way to the left is 100% dry, and all the way to the right is 100% wet. The interesting thing is that phasing is traditionally a 50-50 blend. So when you go to 100% wet, you get phase vibrato, which is kind of this nice lo-fi version of vibrato. Pretty subtle effect. Here's what it sounds like with my dry bass. Let's try running a pure sub signal from my Boss OC2. It sounds like this. Into this relatively fast phase vibrato for this kind of throbbing effect. One other way I've found that I really dig this phase vibrato setting is to thicken up the chorus sound that you heard earlier. So rather than having one beating sine wave on the chorus, we now can have kind of one beating sine wave on the phase vibrato, a different one on the chorus, and then they kind of blend into this watery texture. I'm going to pull this up by using the Strymon multi-switch, because this pedal does have presets. You just have to send it some kind of MIDI CC message. I'm using a Strymon multi-switch to do that. So now on the left side, I have that phase vibrato sound. And on the right side, I have that chorus sound. And then together, you get this very lush chorus sound. Okay, so finally switching from the classic mode on the 4-stage to the barber. And this is kind of an ever-rising phase tone. It never goes down, it's only ascending. Very interesting, unique phase sound. So not a whole lot different than the classic in terms of the overall character, just a different shape of the waveform that you're sending into it. And then finally, very fun addition on the Strymon. This is kind of nice if you don't have an envelope filter on your board. This is an envelope phaser. Very unique sound. You don't see this on a lot of phasers, but I wish it was on more. It's quite different in character. It's more vocal than an envelope filter, but let's hear what that sounds like, settings as shown. While we're on this envelope phaser, let's fatten things up a little bit. I put my Boss OC2 on in a traditional octaver mode, running into that Fairfield barbershop overdrive. They sound like this by themselves. Now running into that envelope phaser. All right, we are almost through all of the main features of the Zelzah, except for one very important thing I haven't really talked about yet, which is that this is 2 independent phase circuits that we can run in parallel or in series. So series being the traditional sense of running a 6-stage phaser into a 4-stage phaser. Parallel being we're splitting our signal, processing both sets of phasers independently, and then blending them back into one unit at the end. So I have that Fairfield Barbershop overdrive on here just again to have a little more harmonic content. And I've gone back to the first preset in my video, which is kind of a fast 4-stage on the left and a slow 6-stage on the right. This is what the 6-stage sounds like by itself. This is what the 4-stage sounds like by itself. And now, to select which way you want to run our 2 phase tones here, we can hold down our 6-stage foot switch, and then this knob right here, essentially, if it's green, it's telling you you're running in series. If it is blue, you're running in parallel. So let's start with series and hear what that sounds like. Same settings now, but running the phasers in parallel. All right, so before I finish this video, as everybody knows, I gotta throw some weird crap into the Zelzah and hear what it sounds like. So we're gonna go with some big textures and see what happens. Sticking with kind of my first preset here, which is kind of that traditional fast 4-stage on the left, slow 6-stage on the right, running in series. Let's take a listen to that synth bass tone. Again, that's the Boss OC2 running into the Noise Space Audio Brass Fuzz. It sounds like this without the Zelzah. And now let's run it into the slow 6-stage by itself. Both in series. So this is another dual phase sound that I got going on here. On the right side of the pedal, I have it kind of in that most extreme chorusy, flangey sound, max resonance, slowest speed. It sounds like this by itself. On the left side of the pedal, I have a relatively medium speed barber phase sound going on. Running both in parallel. But now let's run something a little bit more sonically interesting into that particular sound. So I have a fun little kind of pitch delay setting here on my Eventide H9. It sounds like this. Into that kind of phaser, flanger, barber, phaser, whatever it is. I don't know. Let's hear what it sounds like. two slow, very pretty, lush phase tones, 4-stage, 6-stage, running in series with my dry bass. Sounds pretty. But now let's run something a little bit more ridiculous into these two phasers. So back to my synth tone. I got my Boss OC2 into that brass fuzz. Sounds like this. But let's have some fun now, and let's run this into a full-on harmonizer on my Eventide H9, essentially giving me these like synth stabs. And now running that into these slow kind of drifting phasers. Very last sound sample for you. Very similar phase setup as before, except a little bit slower on the speeds, and now I'm running them in parallel. And now I'm going to be running just that fuzz pedal from Noise Space Audio into the Zelzah into a pretty long tape delay from the Strymon Volante. So that is my review of the Strymon Zelzah, an incredibly gorgeous sounding phaser from Strymon. Honestly, you wouldn't really expect much else from Strymon than really something that sounds pretty. But I will say that this thing is the phaser that me, personally, I have been looking for a very long time. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe below. I apologize so much for the delay and how long it has been since I've put a video out. 2020 was crazy. That's all I'm going to say. But I will be back very shortly with more effects pedals review videos and also some performance videos. So thank you as always for watching. Bye.